about.
Okay, guys, ready now?
Not
No,
quite.
give us just,
We're having some.
we got a settings issue.
Oh, I'm sure. Got it. Okay. All right. I think we're ready.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. Hold on tight for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. Tonight we have with us returning guest, Mr. Elliott Klein. Welcome back to the show, Elliott.
Hello. It's been quite a while since I last seen you. I'm happy to see you again.
So let's talk about your racing season. How is your racing season going?
Pretty good, but at one of the tracks that we thought we were going to be racing at the most, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, has really just turned into watching the rain. It rains all the time there, and our main track was going to be Nashville, but now it's become Highland Rim. But this coming weekend, we do have a doubleheader, so we're hoping that that one won't get rained out.
So, have do you have you had a lot of success this season with the racing season?
Um, yes, uh, especially during the spring nationals and the beginner bandolero class.
Set of two top fives.
Had two top fives. Yes.
So, um, so what do you got the rest of your season look like? You know, as far as coming up.
Okay, I did mention the races this coming weekend. Um, and we do have a few other races coming up later this season, so we're just hoping that we can finish those and hopefully find some more races to complete.
Okay, so have you picked up any new sponsors at all?
Yes, since the last time we did pick up a pest doctor. Roger Cato is the owner. Me and him have been friends for a little while, and once um, we actually met at a gas station on our way to Pensacola to go to the ARCA race down there. Um, and ever since he asked one night at the nationals, said we'd like to be on your quarter panel. So he is now on the quarter panel of our car.
Okay, so that's pretty awesome. So, have you run into any mechanical issues with your race car this year yet?
Um,
Yeah, we've had a
we
few,
had a few.
but the good thing about those is we've learned so much about the car already. Um, we knew this year was going to be a learning year for all of us involved, but we've had some accidents and things in races that have torn some things up. But all in all, it hasn't been as bad as it could be. But we're just using it as a learning process, and we definitely learned a lot this year.
Okay, so have you had some spin outs or anything like that, or?
Um, yes, but they're pretty rare with me. I mean, I can't say much because I've only ran a series of races, but they're not super common, I would say.
Okay, so other than the race coming up this year, what's some of the other big races that you have on your radar to race in eventually down the road?
I would like to go to summer shootout at one point. Um, and maybe Winter Nationals at some point. I would like to go to that. But that's about it. Those are the dream races I want to go to.
Okay. So other than that, the learning curve is coming along pretty smoothly, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that's really impressed me with him is how he improves every time we go to a track again, and with each successive session on the track, and then the last test session we did, his lap times were very consistent, lap to lap, and that's what you strive for, and it's really impressive to me that he's been able to do that. I mean, his laps are, within just a few hundredths of a second of each other, and that's something that really stuck out to me recently.
So have you added some people to your team to help out with the working on the race cars, or just you guys?
Um, a few of my friends come to the track sometimes, and they'll help out a little bit. But
We've also got another guy named Riley Rooker. He's actually part of an ARCA team that's local to us here, and he's the son of a longtime friend of mine. And he has been Elliott's spotter for some races, and just help us with whatever we need. So we've had a lot of different people come to the track with us, and we'll put people to work for sure.
Okay. So other than that, you haven't had much bang ups or anything that you have to work on the race shop, have you?
yes, especially at Spring Nationals on the third race where um, I guess I got up just a tad bit too high and showed a little under, and some guy decided that's enough room for me and slid me up the track and spun me around, spun him around, and I got smashed in on the backhand. So new horns and some body repairs.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the best part about that though is when I saw, he got spun and he was sitting there and someone slid in, after the fact and hit him really hard. And I looked away because I just knew that we were done. And then credit to him, he started the car back up. They actually drove a push vehicle over to check on him, and before they could get there, he had driven off, and he kept going, and he was able to finish that race in fourth place. We did have to do some, repairs to the chassis and body work, like he said, but he was able to finish that race, and that was huge.
Okay. Okay. So when he gets into a wreck like that, Dad, how do you keep him grounded so he doesn't get too overworked up on the situation?
Well, just try to talk to him on the radio, find out if he's okay, and then just let him know that it's going to be okay. He was able to determine that the car was fine, and he kept going. Uh, I'm sure to him, it felt like the car was destroyed. I mean, honestly, it seemed like that to me too. But I just try to talk to him, calm him down, and he does a good job of that.
So, being you've raced this year a bit, Elliott, have you met some more professional race car drivers at the tracks?
Um, one of them would be my mentor and friend Hunter Wright. I've also met some other people like Ross Chastain, Josh Berry, some other people there. That's about all I've met.
Okay. So,
Well, we
are
ticket to
you
meet Carson Hocevar at the NASCAR race at the Nashville Super Speedway, which is just about 15 minutes from our house here.
okay? Okay. So, did they give you any advice on your racing career at all?
I didn't ask for any.
Okay.
Maybe one piece of advice that he mentioned Hunter Wright, who is a pro late model driver that we help at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and he he talks to Elliott a lot. And one thing that he said that really stuck with me is that, if you're having to put the car back together, having to repair it, you can't work on making it faster. So that's something that we've really learned this year, is that it sets us back a little bit when we have to repair the car. And, it's inevitable that it's going to happen, but we really try to make sure that we can bring the car home in one piece, and it makes, our process a lot easier for getting back to the track and making improvements.
So one of the questions I was going to ask you is if you hurt the primary car, do you guys have a backup car you can go to, or?
We do not.
Okay.
Yeah, so like this weekend, we are running Friday night and Saturday night, and Saturday night will be contingent upon, having the car in one piece, or at least enough of one piece to go from Friday night to Saturday. So sometimes, when we've not done 2 days in a row, except that the Nationals event, but we don't plan too far ahead, or we have a contingency. It's all based on whether or not the car is still in good shape after one race.
Okay. So yeah, just wanted to get an update as to how your racing season is going there. If there's anybody out here going to be watching this, again, reach out to Elliott Klein and his racing team, because they'd appreciate more sponsorship on his race car as he gets further into his racing career. You've had some bad luck this year, but is there anybody you'd like to thank for helping you overcome that this year?
Yes, my family first off. All the sponsors, Pest Doctor, Cedar City RV, Red's Hair Studio, and my mentor, Hunter Wright, and all the people that have recognized me and just said hi. They've been nice and helpful.
Okay. I'd like to thank you guys for giving us an update on the racing show tonight, but I will have you guys step out, and I will call you guys here shortly to thank you, okay?
All right, one more shout out I'd like to give is to the Man Motorsports ARCA team and Mark Noble, they were kind enough to help us with those repairs that we needed earlier in the year. So a special shout out to Jeremy and Daniel from Man Motorsports. Appreciate those guys.
Thank you guys. Thank them a lot, yes. And I want to thank you guys for, again, being on the racing show with me tonight. But yeah, I'll have you step out, and I will call you and thank you here shortly.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So that was Elliott Klein on our racing show tonight, talking to us about his racing career, getting an update on his racing career with him and his dad. But if you would like to sponsor a racing show or be on a racing show, feel free to call us or text us at 712-209-713, or you can email us at jjnolan151@gmail.com. I'd like to thank everybody for helping us out with this. Have a good night, everybody.